Hari Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Hari Om, salutations to all. So we had seen the introduction about the Upanishads. What is the meaning of the Upanishad, word Upanishad? And we also came up to the point where the Shanti mantra. Each Upanishad has a Shanti mantra. The teacher and the student come together and they both chant the mantra before the Upanishad begins. The idea here is, why should both of them chant? Because the tuning between the teacher and the student has to happen. The mind has to get tuned. Whose mind has to get tuned to whom? Swamiji, teacher's mind has to get tuned to student's mind. Actually, both. Because the teacher needs to tune up to the student's mind to understand what is the level at which the student is, and then from there the knowledge has to be imparted and the student is uplifted. Student has to tune up to the teacher's mind also to be able to understand what the teacher is saying. But both of them have to tune up to Bhagavan. The common altar of surrender is the Lord. And when both tune up to the Lord, then the tuning between both also happens. So Shanti mantra is meant for both. And teacher and the student both come together and chant, first to quieten their minds, then to quieten the mind in such a, how to quieten their minds? So remember the divine, invoke the Supreme Lord, and through that they both tune up to each other also. Student also cultivates certain qualities which are there mentioned in the Shanti mantra. As we chant the Shanti mantra, we invoke those qualities in us. If the teacher is a realized master, the teacher does not need that Shanti mantra that way to invoke the qualities. But yet the teacher will chant. Why? So that the mind is empty. One thing for the teacher, then it is remembrance of one's own self. He is not invoking some qualities and thinking of the divine that way. Then the teacher is invoking the Supreme and the knowledge. Actually, the Guru is the Lord alone. So whether a teacher is realized or not realized, the teacher thinks about the Lord, because Bhagavan is the real Guru and the knowledge flows from the Guru only, who is the Lord. One only becomes an empty channel. Let it flow. So Shanti mantra is very important, and it is also called Shanti mantra because the mind which is not quiet cannot achieve anything actually. And here we are speaking about the highest knowledge, the supreme knowledge of Brahman. The mind has to be quiet. Only in a quiet mind there is a capability to absorb, reflect on what one has absorbed, assimilate it, apply it in one's life. So all this, absorbing, assimilation, application cannot happen unless the mind has become quiet. If the mind is disturbed, thinking of something or the other, it is not in the present moment. That mind does not grasp properly. It doesn't listen with full attentiveness. So that mind is a mind which is, in fact, it may be dangerous also because in Vedanta, if we listen to something, our mind has wandered somewhere else. Again, we bring it back. In between, we have lost the link. Then the knowledge is gone, incomplete. It is not proper, logical, sequential thought process, and there are chances of misunderstanding. So it's very important to quieten the mind and focus. When one is listening to Vedant, what should be one's bhav? Nothing else matters. Everything else is a preparation for listening. In Vedanta, it is said, Shravanam matrena jnanam bhavati. By just listening with a pure and a single pointed mind, realization will happen instantly then and there. There is no need for reflection and contemplation if the mind is ready. We saw that in the Adhikari, different levels of Adhikaris who are there. So the Uttam Adhikari, it will happen immediately, instant, then and there. So one listens to Vedanta with that attitude that nothing else matters for this 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, whatever time we have allotted for it. Especially because when we are doing this online, there's always a temptation of putting on the talk, cooking something, talking to somebody, doing the morning chores. Vedanta wants us to listen with full attentiveness, not moving about. Maximum one write some notes if one wants to, just for one's reflection, but otherwise with full alertness, attentiveness, one listens to Vedanta. Then it will go and transform. What are we seeking to transform? Our Jiva Bhav. We are seeking to transform that, drop our false identifications, come to realize the truth, which is our own true nature. Just the ignorance of it is causing so much challenge to us. That ignorance can go only by knowledge. Knowledge comes through listening. So all my work, my duties, everything that I do is preparation for this. And hence, when one has finished the preparation, and when one is sitting for this listening, one is not thinking about the preparation and anything else. One is just focused now on listening fully. So Shanti mantra is to focus. Now this Shanti mantra, like we said earlier, that every Veda has different Upanishads, and the Shanti mantra in many of them of that particular Veda will be the same. There are other Shanti mantras also in that Veda, which may be utilized in different contexts and in some places for different Upanishads also. But generally, we see a certain Shanti mantra of a particular Veda will be there common for that the Upanishads of that particular Veda. So here we have Kaivalya Upanishad from the um, Atharva Veda. So the Upanishads of Atharva Veda, Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad, Amrit Bindu Upanishad, they all will have same Shanti mantra. So let us chant that Shanti mantra. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this very famous Shanti mantra, especially the second half, many of the people will be knowing, because whether somebody knows any mantra or not, what is the occasion, what we want to do, one doesn't bother about any of that. So many times one just starts Swastina Indro Vriddhashravaha, so many occasions and so many movies and serials and all that, they will just start singing this. So what is this mantra saying? So the literal meaning first, we will see the basic meaning. Om Bhadram Karnebihi Shunayama Devaha. Om is the shortest indicator of the truth. Ekaksharam Brahma. Om iti Ekaksharam Brahma. Om is one single syllable that indicates the imperishable truth. Om. Bhadram Karnebihi Shunayama. With our ears may we listen to what is auspicious. This is being addressed to whom? Devaha, O Devatas. We will see who are Devatas. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shunayama Devaha. O Devas, may we listen to what is auspicious. Bhadram Pashye Makshabhir Yajatraha. May we see what is auspicious. O worshipful ones. Yajatraha means worshipful ones. O Devatas, O worshipful ones, may we hear what is auspicious, may we see what is auspicious. Sthirairangai Tushtuvagam Sastanubhi. With hale and hearty limbs, may I have a healthy body. Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu. May we spend our allotted lifespan in this way, with good health, seeing auspicious, hearing auspicious. Then Swastina Indro Vriddhashravaha. May Indra, who is the most ancient, very wise, may he be auspicious to me. Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. May Pusha, the sun, the all nourisher, be auspicious to me. Swastina Starksho Arishtanemihi. May Tarksha, the lord of the wind, be auspicious to me. Then Swastina Brahaspatir Dadhatu. May Brahaspati be auspicious to me, the Guru of the Devatas. May he be auspicious to me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be peace, peace, peace. Now this is the basic Shanti mantra. So what does this Shanti mantra do? So this Shanti mantra, there are many things that this will do, but basic 5 things, first of all. So first of all, this Shanti mantra speaks about Arogya. It speaks about Mangala Anubhuti. Bhadram Karne bhi is auspiciousness, Mangal. So if we go in the sequence, let us go in the sequence, so it's easy to remember. So first is Mangala Anubhuti, invoking auspiciousness. Second is seeking good health. Third is invoking the grace of the phenomenal forces, being in tune with nature. Fourth, the Grace of the Supreme Lord we invoke, and our effort also we have to put. So it is indicating both self effort and invoking grace of Bhagwan, because we want to realize the truth. The Brahma Vidya is what we seek. And fifth is invoking peace. May there be peace from phenomenal forces, from the beings around, and from subjective disturbances. So, five things the Shanti mantra will do. Now, let us see each of these now. That first one, Bhadram Karnebhi Shunayama Devaha. May we listen to what is auspicious. So, and may we see what is auspicious. So, listening and seeing. These two are symbolic of all the other sense faculties. So, seeing, hearing, then tasting, smelling, touching, all. May there be only auspiciousness when we interact with all. Why? See, amongst all the senses also, mainly these two, seeing and hearing, are responsible for our thought processes. Others are involved, no doubt, but mainly these two, because our thoughts are nothing but sound and form, nama and rupa. So if I say apple, now the sound of apple is producing the form of apple in the mind. So there's an image that comes and I recognize, oh, this is the apple. So I know what is an apple, then that image of apple comes about. That's how I become aware of the sound has created a form. Suppose we say love, then somebody whom I love, or a heart, or any such thing associated with love, that will come up in the mind. So thoughts are names and forms illumined by awareness. And these names and forms we get mainly from the eyes and the ears. And so if we see what is auspicious, if we hear what is auspicious, then what happens? Our thoughts become auspicious. If I see anything, talk anything, listen to anything, then it is not going to create auspiciousness. And hence, very consciously, one invokes auspiciousness. Around us, there can be anything. There can be beautiful things, there can be auspicious things, there can be inauspicious things. Now, what is auspicious and what is inauspicious? There are different ways to understand that. What helps us to evolve, to live higher values of life, to live with more harmony, to live in peace, love, compassion, kindness, that is auspicious. Where it creates divisions, where it hurts others, where it is making us compromise, where we don't live the higher values of life, those things are inauspicious. So, any beautiful sight in the nature when we see, auspicious. Some nice sounds we hear, auspicious. Name of Bhagwan we hear, auspicious. Our conversations are about inspiring ideas, ideals, positive, let us say, projects, something which will lead to more growth, development, externally or even internally. All that is auspicious. So what I see, what I hear, Bhadram Karnevi Shunuyama Devaha. So one meaning of auspicious is that whatever helps me to evolve higher from who I am today, like what people say, no, that may I become the best version of myself. So whatever helps me to evolve is auspicious. And what is the meaning of evolution then? Where I gain a certain mastery of the body, mind, intellect, where there is a certain alignment of this body, mind, intellect, where my attachments have dropped, where I learn to become more equanimous, where I gain more clarity of knowledge. where I expand to serve, all that is evolution. Don't say, Swamiji, I evolved by eating chocolate and drinking coffee. I mean, you can eat chocolate, drink coffee, not a problem. But if there is an attachment to it, then that is not evolution. In fact, that is devolution then for the person. It is not auspicious for that person anymore. Though by itself, coffee and chocolate, there's nothing wrong in it. But our attachment makes it inauspicious for us then. So, may I see what is auspicious? May I hear what is auspicious? Also means that may I interact with detachment, because then the world becomes an auspicious place, life becomes auspicious, our efforts are a sadhana to evolve. Otherwise, the same thing becomes inauspicious for me. It may be the most conducive, healthy thing also. Suppose I overeat. Even like how Bhagavan says in the Gita, that anything in extreme one should avoid. If one goes on eating, that is not auspicious. And if one goes on fasting, that is also not auspicious. Natyashnatastu yogosti nachaikantam anashnataha. If one goes on eating so much food, because once I am a foodie, I love food and I go on eating food. There's nothing wrong in eating food. It's not immoral, it's not illegal, but it is inauspicious for that person. Now we should know this. Anything which is not immoral and illegal does not mean it is auspicious. If it is not helping me to develop, evolve higher, it is not auspicious. So fasting, even goes on fasting and doesn't eat properly, then nachaikantam anashnata. One does not eat, then that is not auspicious. If one goes on eating, that is not auspicious. Same ways, sleep, exercise, even spiritual practice, Bhagavan says, yukta swapna avabodhasya. Even avabodha means spiritual practice. That also one should not do in extremes. Moderation, and then slowly increase the intensity. And if one has become the Uttamadhikari, then one lives through that type of full-time seeker, then one is dedicated for only that purpose. Then that's a different thing. That is not called extreme. There one has chosen to do that exclusively. So what we have to know, Bhadram means that which helps me to evolve higher. Bhadram means that which brings harmony in the mind, body, as we said, alignment. When we don't, and how that will bring alignment? When it is focused on some higher values of life, then only it will bring alignment. I know what is right, but I do something opposite. I know what is truth, but I speak something opposite. That is not Bhadram. That will bring disharmony. When I speak, when I think what is truth, speak what is truth, behave at the level of action, sadvichar, sadvyani, sadvyavahar, that is Bhadram. If Asat comes in any of these places, I think the truth but I speak untruth, or I think the truth, speak the truth, but I act in an untruthful way, Abhadram. So it's not merely form, what we see, but everything that we are doing, is it helping me to evolve, helping me to align, helping me to drop my attachment to the body? If I think anything that takes me closer to the realization of the self is Bhadram. This one can apply. Now, any goal one has. Suppose I want to reduce weight is my goal. Then if I go on putting on eating more calories, it is Abhadram. If my goal is to, let us say, attain a particular, clear a particular exam, or work hard and finish a particular project by a particular timeline, then whatever helps me to focus on that and achieve that is Bhadram. Anything that distracts me, deviates me, makes me lose the intensity, post procrastination, all that is Abhadram. So this first line itself is very powerful. Bhadram karne bhi shunuyama devaha. For a student of realization, what one hears, what one sees is very, very crucial, because what one is trying to realize is the nature of the self, who I am in my true nature. And what we see, what we hear, the mind goes on feeding that, brooding on that. So it can make the person distracted, deviated, and develop many uh, attachments. Pleasure seeking can happen through that, and the mind goes out through that. What we see na, in the Gita, the ladder of fall. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. When one broods on the sense objects, then one gets attached. Suppose I see a very beautiful, let us say some sari one has seen, or some car one has seen, or a phone, one advertisement of a phone, anything, what one sees. Now one starts brooding, oh, if I have this phone, if I have this sari, if I have this car, so nice it will be, and you know what people will think about me, and I will enjoy in this way, and this brooding is happening. Now, as one does this fanciful imagination, one gets attached to that. Sangasteshu upajayate. Then sangat sanjayate kama. Now I want that particular thing. Desire has risen. If the desire is fulfilled, it may give rise to greed, insecurity, fear. Why? Because of fear of losing it. Greed, I want more of it. You know, insecurity, that somebody should not take it away from me. I will become lesser if somebody takes it away. All that. So if it is fulfilled, this will happen. If it is not fulfilled, anger, kama turodhobi jayate, frustration, anger, stress, all that. Then krodha bhavati sammoha. One gets deluded. One doesn't know what is right, what is wrong. In fact, one thinks of the right as wrong. One justifies the anger. Krodha bhavati sammoha. Sammoha smriti vibhrama. Then one doesn't even remember who is in front of me, what should be my conduct. Anything one speaks, anyhow one behaves, one can become violent, angry, pushed to the desperation, because that desire makes that person like that. So much attachment to that desire because one has done fanciful brooding. Then smriti bhramshat buddhinasha. When buddhinasha happens, because I don't know who is in front of me, I don't have the right memory, the proper data is not there. It is eclipsed. It's there, but it is eclipsed. So I behave so badly, that relationship gets strained. One doesn't live up to the dignity of a human being. Buddhi nashat pranashyati, one falls. Now all this happened. Why? Swamiji, because of brooding it happened. Why did we brood? Because some sense input has gone in, no? Either I saw through my eyes or somebody told me, have you heard about this? Have you seen this? Did you visit this place? Did you eat that food? Now one has started brooding. Then the ladder of fall starts. So, though there are 8 steps in that, one step which is the cause of all these is not yet added there. It means it's implied there, because in that thought process in the Gita, Bhagavan has already spoken about sense control, giving the example of tortoise, and then he speaks about this. So, there it is implied because of the context. Here we have to understand that Bhadram Karnebhi Shunuyama, Bhadram Pashe Makshabhir Yajatraha is the first step in sadhana. If you see the Gita chariot, now the horses, 4 horses representing 5 senses, they are white in color. Tata shvete hayar yukte mahatisyandane sthitau. In the Gita, Bhagavan, the chariot of Arjuna and Bhagavan is described that way. Shveta haya, white horses. Why there are white horses? Because they represent purity of the senses. If we don't have control over what I see and hear, impossible it is to have harmony of the mind. So may I see auspicious, may I hear auspicious. Swami, all around us, there are so many things which are not auspicious. Then we have to learn to withdraw our attention from that. Sometimes our mind only craves for it, and we justify it also. There is a dark side to everybody, and there are enough movies and serials and series of web series and all that which will say explore your dark side. It's natural, it is human. Array, we don't need all that. Without exploring that, anyway, it is expressing. Why do we want to explore? Everybody has a dark side, it is expressing. Now, why do you want to explore the dark side? For what joy? It will only bring destruction ultimately. So, vulgar things, violent things, when I am seeing, I am talking my language, I don't use appropriate language, use some slang, use some abusive words. How is it possible that mind will be peaceful? The one who wants to see auspicious also has to create auspiciousness. No, it can't be that people will create auspiciousness and I will then see. Because what I am doing also has to be auspicious, because I am the seer. The first, I only see what I do. And second, I am also then creating auspiciousness for others. So how I look, how I behave, how I, converse, what are the things I keep around me, in my room, in my house, all that is a reminder that I should do auspicious first. Not that Swamiji world has to become auspicious, then only I can see auspicious. No, I am a part of that world. I have to create that for myself and for others. Same way, if I have to listen to what is auspicious, I have to speak auspicious. I am my voice, I am the first listener before anybody else listens. So may I speak auspicious, may I hear auspicious, may I see auspicious. So Bhadram Karne bhi Shrunuyam Devaha means I should speak auspicious also. Not that Swamiji, that person is not speaking. This drama, this is not an auspicious language. That neighbor, this boss. No, no. This is about us. May I see what is auspicious, may I hear what is auspicious, which is for both inside and outside. So I should create auspiciousness around me. Bhadram karne bhi shrunuyama devaha. Bhadram pashye makshabhir yajatraha. And by implication, all the other senses. So this is one topic in itself, how to manage our senses. What to eat, what to speak. If anybody manages their tongue, masters the tongue, one has mastered the mind also. Because so many things happen when the mastery of the tongue is not there. So, mastering the senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, all very, very important. Bhadram karnebhi shunuyama devaha, bhadram pashye makshabhirya jatraha is to invoke auspiciousness in all my sense interactions. Nothing wrong in enjoying with the senses. But as our culture says, eat the food, let not the food eat you. Meaning, I should enjoy as a master, not as a victim, not out of desperation, not out of this attitude that what they call nowadays FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh, if I don't eat this, I missed out something. Oh, if I don't go there, I missed out something. Nothing. If you go, if you're able to go, great. If you're able to eat, wonderful. If not, doesn't matter. Real Bhadram is here, not out there. So if we understand that what is truly auspicious is the supreme consciousness. Shiva is auspicious. Now, when we say Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, I don't mean Shiva only as a form. That Shiva as a form, of course, but Shiva as a state of consciousness is the truth, is auspicious, is beauty. So to have the darshan of that, the bhavna that all this is divine, and to interact with that attitude with everything around, that is Bhadram. Because Bhadram word also means self, Atma. Auspicious. What is the most auspicious is the Atma, which lends existence to everything, which makes everything alive, which is of the nature of absolute bliss. That is the most auspicious. So through our senses, whatever I am seeing, may I have the attitude that all this is divine. Family, then I can do anything. All this is divine only. That bhav of all this is divine will not stay in the mind the moment we interact with something where our mind falls to some lower values. So there is auspicious and inauspicious at one level, something which will create positivity in the mind. Suppose we say a beautiful flower. The flower has, is blooming nicely. Now that will bring auspicious thoughts in the mind. It is nature, it is beauty, it is wonderful. Now same thing after it has completely withered away, it starts decaying, it starts smelling, then there is inauspicious. So at a certain level, there is auspicious and inauspicious. If I use abusive words, it is inauspicious. As one does this discrimination of auspicious and inauspicious and starts focusing more on the auspicious and lets go of the inauspicious, the mind will come into higher and higher states, becomes quiet, pure, refined, has the ability to turn within. Only such a mind can realize that there is a self here, the Atma is my nature, and that Atma alone is everywhere. So the Upanishads, when they are saying this, that Brahman alone is, Atman alone is, all this is appearance of that one truth, one can't grasp that knowledge if one has not done basic discrimination of Bhadram and Abhadram and then chosen to be with the Bhadram. So the prayer is, may I see auspicious, may I hear auspicious, because if I continue to engage in that, I will have the bhav that everything is auspicious. At the same time, one will also know what is not appropriate, one will not engage in that. So, Bhadram karnevi shunuyama devaha, Bhadram pashyemakshabhir yajatraha. Now, why are we worshipping Devatas? Why are we saying to Devatas about this? O Devas, O worshipful ones, may I see auspicious, may I hear auspicious. So, who are these Devatas? So, what we have in our Sanatana Dharma, this entire body is only a gross body. It is Sthula Sharira. By itself, it is made up of 5 elements. It is inert. It is not sentient by itself. It has different capabilities only when there is life which is present in this. If life is not there in this, if consciousness does not illumine this, if the subtle body, the mind is not there in this, the body cannot function by itself. That's why dead body is where the subtle body has ejected out of it, gone out. And so one has to understand that this body is not functioning by itself. This is only a tool. Like a car can't run by itself. It is only a vehicle. There is a user of that. Same way I, the individuality, Mr. So and so, is operating through this body right now. And this body is a part of this entire Srishti, nature. It is not something different from it. No. So nature is governed by phenomenal forces. They are the Devatas. This body is a product of Panchamahabhuta, space, air, fire, water, earth. These 5 forces, they are presiding deities who govern these 5 forces. So we say Vayu Devta is there, Agni Devta is there, Varuna Devta is there, Same way. So space, big Devtas are there. Space, air, Vayu Devta. Then fire, Surya, Agni, all of them. Then water, Varuna, earth, Prithvi, Mata we say. So the idea here is the body is made up of 5 elements. These 5 elements are having presiding deities who are the forces which govern the functioning of this. It is not randomly happening. Anything is not randomly happening here. We may see only the physicality of it. Oh, we see sun, we see fire, we see earth, we see we feel the air. We think it is inert nature. Nature is not inert. Nature is enlivened by consciousness. That's why we say Purusha and Prakriti come together for this Srishti to happen. So the Purusha, infinite consciousness, manifesting through all these. And there is a harmony in these phenomenal forces. When these forces come together, a certain creation happens, and a certain sophistication of the equipment also is there of this human body and so many other creatures. Every single creature, if you think about it, has such sophisticated systems. Their habitats are different, the food for them is different, the way they respond is different, the number of senses they have is different. It's mind-boggling that how so much of sophistication in each single creature will be there. Just look at our body, our eyes. Even the best cameras of today can't manage to do what exactly our eyes will do. They can replicate in some way certain things, but our eye is, we take it for granted, but it's such a sophisticated equipment. How does that function? स्वामी randomly चल रहा है वो. No. When it says Chakshusha Surya, Surya, in the medium of light we are able to see. That is one aspect. But the second aspect is that there is a phenomenal force, a presiding deity who governs this capability of seeing. How we use that, that is our freedom. Like, see, Gurudev used to give this beautiful example. He would say that there are various heads of the departments. Suppose you go to municipality, there is a water department, there's fire department, different departments are there. There are heads of those departments. Now you are living in your house, you need water connection, you have to go to them, apply. You need fire connection, go to them, apply. And once you do, they will give you the water line, gas line, all that will come to you. Then how you use that is your freedom. Same way, capabilities are there, presiding deities are there, the body is able to function because it's a part of nature. Nature has phenomenal forces. So the forces of the nature, they are governing this also, because this is also part of nature. What we have done is we have excluded ourselves from that, so we think nature is outside us. And we are to use nature. Nature is for us to enjoy. This is also part of nature only. I am something else. I am the Atma, which is enlivening all this. This is what one has to realize. So when we say that Devas, oh Devas, may I see auspicious, may I hear auspicious, on one hand it is an auto-suggestion to ourselves that may we live that way, may our senses engage with what is auspicious. On the other hand, we are also invoking the grace of the Devatas, because they are presiding over these phenomenal forces. And so may their grace be available always. Sun should be there now for us, for the light to be there, for us to see properly. And today we know so much about the sun and the vitamin D and vitamin A, the eyesight, and scientifically we may have understood a few things, but exposure to sunlight is important. People go into depression when they are not exposed to sunlight for so many days, when it is gloomy and rainy and the sun doesn't come out. We are lucky in a tropical area we are staying. There are people where sun doesn't come out for days together, living in the other regions, closer to the poles and all that. So I'm just giving one example of sun. Same way, fire, water, air, earth, so many things around us. All these, when we say there are 33 crore devatas, there are 33 main categories of devatas, and below them are from them are the total other 33 crores manifesting. 8 Vasus, 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, 2 Ashwini Kumars, or Indra and Brahaspati. 33 main categories. All the rest come from them. The entire creation, just think about it, one country to manage, how many people are required? Now the elections are coming. You just think, once in 5 years, what a massive exercise it is to conduct the elections. The largest democracy on the earth. So many places, so many officers are required, bureaucracy is there, government is there, different heads are there, chief ministers are there. Look at the whole system. If you see political system, there is only one system. So much to govern the country in one aspect. So many different aspects are there in the whole creation. Of course, there are these different forms, different devatas and phenomenal forces. So we are seeking their grace so that when they function well, we are able to experience things in this world properly through our senses. And also that we are saying that may we see auspicious, may we hear auspicious, meaning may we not create something which is inauspicious and disharmonious in the world. So human beings and devatas work together, which is a Vedic culture. We lived in tune with nature. We lived in tune with things around us. So we understand the principles. So when these phenomenal forces, they are sentient powers. When we invoke them, we understand the nature also better. Then auspiciousness happens when we understand properly. Otherwise, we will create disharmony. Suppose you have a pet. Now you have no understanding of the pet. Now it's a problem for you also and the pet also. But if there is an understanding, okay, how the pet functions, what should be given to it, what should not be given to it, what is the way in which their body clock is different, our body clock is different. So if we understand properly, then there's auspiciousness, harmony, bhadram. Otherwise, there's a lot of challenge. Same way, this whole creation, so many subtle aspects are there in this Srishti, which will help us, which will help others. If we tune up with the divine forces, we will understand. And that's how our ancestors understood so many things in the nature and brought out such deep knowledge in any field, art, literature, dance, music, food. It's fantastic how they have gone into the depth of it. It's not just human beings, independent you know exploration and buddhi and creativity and intelligence, no doubt all that, but there are cosmic forces which are way more powerful than human beings. If one is able to quieten the mind, invoke. So if you see the Veda in the karma kand, etc., all that is there where one propitiates the devatas. Through their blessings one gets power, position, wealth, prosperity, child, fame, glory, all that comes. Here, the student doesn't want all that because one wants to know the truth. One has seen through all that we saw in the preparation. But this is why one invokes the devatas. And a student of the Upanishads, though one wants to realize absolute oneness, oneness cannot be realized if there is disharmony. So in the Srishti, we may say that, oh, Srishti is illusory. Then this body also is illusory, no, as a part of the Srishti. Do I think that way? If I think my body is real, I must eat, drink, and enjoy, and then Srishti is illusory. That will not work. So even if Vedanta says Srishti is illusory, the Shanti mantra is still invoking grace of the Devatas. The Guru is still chanting the mantra. Why? Because at a relative plane, as long as this body is there are phenomenal forces, there is a Srishti, so one has to live in harmony with those forces. So, for Swastina Indro Vriddha Shrava, sorry, this Devahan Yajatraha. So, Devatas and worshipful ones. Who are these Devatas? Phenomenal forces. They are Jivas, actually. But they have attained that position of Devata by doing lot of Punya Karma. They derive their power from Bhagavan. So Indra is a position, Agni is a position, Vayu is a position. These are positions. And specific jivas occupy those positions as per their karma, their punya, and they enjoy a certain power, and they are in charge of that part of the creation. So with that power comes sometimes the stories etc., where we see where there is some arrogance, there is some ego, then they fall. So human being learns from that also, that oh, even in a position of devata one can fall. They are in general worshipful, no doubt, yajatraha, and they have much more power than you and I can even imagine. But even with all that, it is not infinity, it is not realization of the truth. One is still feeling the jiva bhav, so there will be insecurity, fear, all that will happen. So through that, the human being understands that why should I even strive to know those things? I should realize the truth. But in general, when we say devatas are worshipful, because they are punyatmas, they have done lot of good to come to that position. Like just example, Indra. Indra is one who can take the position of Indra. Only somebody who has done 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas can come to the position of Indra. One can't come otherwise. Now to do that 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, one has to live in tapasya, self-control, and many things have to happen. Lot of dana, punya, one should have done, helped out people, build that bank of punya to come to that level of Indra. Same way for all the devatas. There is the whole description may be given that if you do this much, this will happen, all that the scriptures will say, then you become this. So the idea here is they are divine, they are phenomenal forces, they are having much more power than us. They derive their power from Bhagwan, it's not their independent power. And so when we worship them, when we are in tune with them, it is good for us, and also that we evolve. So Bhadram Karnebhi Shunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraha Sthirairangai Tushtuvagam Sastanubhihi. With all the limbs, may all my limbs be hale and hearty and healthy and strong. May I have a good physique, good health. So Arogya. Why do I need good health? Because I want to do sadhana. As a human being, this is the best equipment I have. In the human birth, there is this buddhi, and may I use the buddhi well. May I use my body to serve the people, not that I keep being sick and then people have to serve me. May I serve the people. Service is the best way to purify the mind. And if I can do service, for me to do service, I should have a good physique, good health. So basic exercise, sattvic food, sleep, all this is very important. And the body should be taken care of. So again, may I have, one is praying to devatas. That does not mean that I don't do anything for it. That's why I said this is a combination of self-effort and grace, both. So may I have a healthy body so that I can do sadhana, I can meditate, I can serve, I can do upasana. All the three, karma yoga sadhana I can do, upasana, remembering of Bhagavan I can do, contemplation, listening to Vedant, contemplation I can do. All sadhanas I can do only when body is healthy. If the body is not healthy, none of this can happen. One may manage to do somehow if one has that intensity of, the feeling to do seva or to do remembrance of Bhagavan. Any of that one will be able to do. But if the body is healthy, then one feels good about it. One goes about it in a very positive way, enjoys it also. Otherwise, one has to struggle through it. One may manage to do. But more importantly, the idea here is a Vedantic student does not neglect the body or abuse the body. Both are very important. So when we say that may all the limbs of my body be healthy and may I have a good healthy life, what is the meaning of that? That I treat the body appropriately, where I don't go on indulging and abusing it and drain all the energies of the body. Nor do I neglect it, that I don't give it proper food, I don't give it proper rest. eat less, sleep less, no exercise. Why? I am not the body. Why should I care for it? One has to take care of the body. Last stages where one has such deep levels of vairagya and the mind is so introverted, absorbed, and for days and hours and months, sometimes one is in samadhi. Those are very different states. One can't come to that without doing proper sadhana and taking care of the body. And that we don't have to worry, because that time then Bhagavan ensures that the body of the seeker is taken care of. And the seeker does not have to focus on that. Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to go into samadhi. Sometimes standing he will go into samadhi. And for sometimes hours he will be standing like that. So there used to be this nephew of his called Hriday, who will be with him sometimes. Then he knows, okay, now he has gone into samadhi. So he is there to protect. Otherwise the body will fall. Sometimes balance is not there or any other reason, the body will fall. But Hriday is there to save. Those are different states we are talking about. For us, it is important to do our basic things. I always give this FEST: food, exercise, sleep, and training of the senses. We have to do all the four for the body. Training of senses already came on the top. Bhadram karne vishunayam. Eat sattvic food, do proper exercise at least 20 minutes a day, sleep at least 7 to 8 hours. If one has controlled the mind and one is doing some yogic techniques also, and then one is doing seva, then we may not need long time of sleep, but at least 5 to 6 hours one will need. Then the body rejuvenates well, mind becomes fresh. So may I do all this to keep the body as a fit equipment, neither neglecting it nor abusing it, walking the path of moderation. So Sirairangai Tuštuvagam Sastanubhi Swastina Indro Vriddha Shravaha. May Indra, who is most ancient, meaning most uh, wise also, king of the Devatas, may that Indra be auspicious to me. So now Indra has many meanings. So one meaning of word Indra is the presiding deity of the hands. Hastayoho Indra, it is said in Tattva Bodh. If you have not studied Tattva Bodh, please study. Because fundamentals, if they are not clear, deeper knowledge one cannot gain. And right now classes are going on. Vedant Fundas we started. So Tattva Bodh one has to learn. Now what I was saying, the hands. Like we said, Chakshusha Suryaha, Rasanayaha, Varunaha, these are phenomenal forces governing our senses. The tongue is governed by Varuna Devata, eyes are governed by Surya Devata, ears are governed by Dig Devata, like that. These are senses of knowledge. That senses of action, hands, symbolic of grasping, dropping, Purushartha. So may that Indra be auspicious, meaning may my actions be auspicious, and through that may I purify my mind. That is one meaning of Indra. Other meaning of Indra also is that Indra is Indriyanam Raja. He is the master of the senses. Who is the master of senses? Mind. Mind coordinates all. So may my mind be auspicious to me. Meaning may I have auspicious thoughts. May I have thoughts of sadhana. May I have thoughts which will help me to turn within. Otherwise the mind listens to Upanishad nicely. At some point in time the mind knows what it should do, but it will create opposite thought process. It knows that I should see auspicious, but it will want to explore the inauspicious. It knows that alcohol is not good, tambaku, gutka, all that is not good, but it will still want to eat and drink and enjoy all that. It is not auspicious, but it will create that. May that not happen. Meaning, may my thoughts be in tune, in alignment with what I seek, not taking me away somewhere else and making me fall. So, Swastina Indro Vriddha. And Indra also is a presiding deity for rains. May there be rains in the Srishti, because through that rains, a lot of things happen. If rains are not there, how much trouble is there? Food is not there, drought is there, water to drink is not there, so many challenges. So, may Indra be auspicious means may the presiding deity of our hands be auspicious, may our mind have auspicious thoughts, may there be enough rain in the world outside, all that. And may our mind be auspicious. Indriyanam Raja. So, Swastina Indro Vriddhashravaha, Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. May the Pusha, the sun, the nourisher, who is all knowing, be auspicious to me. Vishwavedaha means he is all knower. See how our culture, the word for sun is Pusha, nourisher. Because they knew very well, and it's documented, evidences are there, knowledge is there, that how the Srishti goes on because of sun. The life on earth is going on because of sun. Because without that sun, no proper evaporation, rains also will not happen, no, photosynthesis in the plants, no metabolism working properly in the human beings. It's all connected to the cycle of the sun. The circadian rhythm also is connected to the sun. So the nourisher, food will not be available without sun. So he is the nourisher. Swastina Pusha. And he is all knower. Why? Because he is always present. Again, we don't think Surya only as the sun who is in the world outside, as a star. Surya Dev, the presiding deity of not only that sun functioning outside, but Surya Chakshusha Surya, presiding deity of our eyes. And Surya also symbolic of knowledge. So knowledge is that which nourishes us. So may we see auspicious, so may Pusha help me for that. May I have the right knowledge, right understanding. Sun is also symbolized, connected with our buddhi. When we say Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, may that sun illumine our thoughts. Means knowledge. May right knowledge illumine, and that sun also is symbol of consciousness, because life, as I said, on earth is not possible without sun. So without consciousness, life is not possible. So that sun is consciousness, that sun is illuminer of my thoughts, that sun is the presiding deity of my eyes. May I have the grace of that Surya. And that sun also feeds us through the food, digests the food, metabolic fire, etc. is because of the sun. So that's why we are sun worshippers. Much before the modern cult has started, where they are saying, oh, I don't believe in any forms, because which God, what God, you have not seen God, but sun is visible. Sun is a source of light. Sun is a source of energy. So I worship the sun. There they are still worshipping sun only as a sun, ball of fire, ball of whatever, hydrogen, helium and all that. We are seeing the sun as much more than that, as Surya Dev. Because we see consciousness functioning through all. Our vision is not limited only to what we see through the senses. There's so much beyond the senses. So, Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swastina Starkshaha Arishtanemihi. May the wind, the swift blowing wind, be auspicious to me. So, Tarksha also means our prana. So, one is the wind, the air outside. So, the air, of course, is required for our survival. And may that harmony be there in the wind outside there, because when it is gentle breeze, it is great. And if it is swift and when it is very, the cyclonic breeze and all that, one can't study properly. one is disturbed by these natural forces. So may that wind be auspicious, may Vayu Devata be auspicious to me. Also, as we said, so that symbolizes prana shakti. So may our pranas be auspicious, because the five physiological functions, again going back to Tattva Bodh, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. The five physiological functions, what we take in, what we leave out, the circulation, the assimilation, the ejection out of the body, all these are pranas, and each of the pranas have upapranas also. So there's a prana for winking of the eye, blinking of the eye, there's a prana for yawning, there are pranas for many of these. They are called upapranas. Naga, Kurma, Krakala, like that, they are upapranas. So five pranas, five upapranas, may they be harmonious, because if prana is harmonious, because prana is that which connects body and mind. At the time of death, that prana connection between body and mind is cut. Prananam granthi rudro ma vishantakaha is what we say in the Rudram. This prana, this connecting this body and this mind is the prana shakti. How does the jiva connect to this particular body only? Through prana shakti. At the time of death, that is cut, so the jiva goes and takes up another prana, another body, and associates with that through the prana shakti. So the point is, pranas must be harmonious. And prana, one aspect is breathing, but other four pranas which are there. So all the physiological functions, may they be harmonious to us. May the wind outside be harmonious to us. And all of us know that how it is said, chale vatam chalam chittam nischale nischalo bhavet. In this Hathayoga Pradipika it comes. If the breath is shallow, the mind wanders. If the breath is deep, the mind is quiet. So if I want to quieten the mind and listen to the knowledge of Vedant, I should have pranas in my control and engage in some deep breathing, quieten the mind. Helps for listening, helps for reflection, helps for contemplation, helps in general to keep the body fine and fit. So prana, that's why pranayam is important for the student. Don't think pranayam is only for people who are following the path of yoga. Do you know Taponji Maharaj, such a great Vedantic master? He used to do pranayam. Morning, his routine will be he gets up early morning and then goes for a walk also. 1 hour proper walk he will do. Pranayam, Vedant class, all that. But he did. So may the prana be auspicious. Tarksha also means Garuda. So who is Garuda? Very interesting this is. Garuda is the Vahana of Bhagavan Vishnu. No? When Garuda comes, two things happen. One is that Bhagavan Vishnu comes with the Garuda. I mean, not that wherever Garuda comes, Bhagavan Vishnu is there, but Bhagavan Vishnu's Vahan is Garuda. So Bhagavan comes on that Vahan. What brings that Vahan? I mean, what does that signify? It signifies that may I have more and more satsang. That may I have more and more connection to the divine, to the Lord, through that satsang. So may Tarksha be auspicious to me, meaning may through the Garuda we have more and more satsang. And second thing which happens when Garuda comes is the snakes run. So the negativities in us may disappear. When satsang comes into our life, all this will disappear. May we have more and more satsang. May our mind develop the ruchi for katha of Bhagavan, for leelas of Bhagavan, for remembrance of Bhagavan, for listening to the truth. to the nature of Bhagavan. So even if we are listening to Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is meant to strengthen knowledge and vairagya. It is not some only some stories and the leelas and the birth of Bhagavan and the dance of Bhagavan and the marriage of Bhagavan and all that. That is through that we are connecting to the Lord. Who is that Lord? Satyam Param Dhimahi. Bhagavatam so beautifully says, I meditate on the supreme truth. Who is that truth? Sachidananda Rupaya. He is of the nature of pure consciousness. Vishwospathyadi Hetave. Vishwotpatyadi Hetave. The creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the whole world, Tapatraya Vinashaya, destroyer of the three tapas, Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. We prostrate to that Shri Krishna. Not only Shri Krishna, so many forms of Bhagavan which are mentioned in Bhagavatam, all are to make us realize the truth. So don't think that Bhakti Marga, there is an exclusive Bhakti Marg, exclusive Yoga Marg, no doubt, but this instruction is also to harmonize our personality. So senses already should be auspicious. Mind, we say auspicious thoughts. Prana, may it be auspicious. So yoga marga, we follow some pranayam, a seeker can do. And may satsang come, may we connect to Bhagavan more and more. So bhakti marga also. So through hands, may I serve everybody. So karma yoga also. So that's called integration. Yeah, Vedantic does not mean that I don't follow any other thing. Keep the body fit and fine. Through all these, so many sadhanas are given. So, may Tarksha means may Garuda help me to get more and more satsang. May he bring Bhagavan to me as a vehicle of the Lord. And may I realize that Vishnu, who is all pervasive, Vyapakatvat Vishnu, that all pervasive consciousness, may I realize. To get even Vedantic satsang is very rare. Not easy to get Vedantic satsang. So many people are talking on Vedants today. You still see how many are not exposed to Vedant will be much more. Huge number is not exposed to Vedant at all. Not only that, some are exposed to Vedant, they will not have ruchi for Vedant. Understandable because each one's temperament is different. So somebody follows in the Advait Vedant. I'm talking now of Advait Vedant. Advait Vedant, very few people are takers of it. A lot of them will go for Dvait Vedant, Vishishta Advait Vedant, or some other forms of philosophy also, Sankhya, Nyaya, all these. Today we may not know them through Sankhya, Nyaya, those words, but those thought processes exist even today. So how many people get this? When we say Vishnu, may Garuda bring Vishnu to us. What does that mean? For a student of Vedanta, it means the knowledge of Advait Vedanta. The Bhakti Marga, it may be that may Bhagwan and Katha and Leela, may the Nam Smaran be auspicious and all that. May I have Ruchi in listening to Katha, Ruchi in doing Nam Smaran. So that is a different understanding. Here we are talking about Vedanta. So nameless, formless, attributeless, supreme Brahman. May I have the intensity, that understanding of that truth and seeking, intensely seeking that truth. Because all around me is all the names and forms and easy to get entangled in those enjoyments. To withdraw completely from them, realize the truth. May Tarksha be auspicious to us. See, even the simple exercise of prana vikshana, just focusing on the breath, is powerful to free the mind from the objects, sense objects. Prana vikshana. Raman Maharshi used to be a big advocate of this, prana vikshana. No breathing ratio, just observe the breath. Inhalation, exhalation, just observing. That's the homework you can do this week. If you go on my podcast, there will be Prana Vikshana, guided Prana Vikshana also is there. One can do that sadhana. Just focus on the breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath, and anytime mind wanders, bring it back to breath. Freed from sense objects. At least that time when one is focusing on the breath, one is not brooding. If the mind broods habitually, bring it back. If one does this abhyas, one will get certain vairagya also, one will get certain sense control, the prana also will get in tune, mind will become quiet. So many benefits are there of prana vikshan. One is ready to contemplate. So, Swastinastarsho Arishtanemehi. Swastino Brihaspatir Dadhatu. May Brihaspati, the Lord of the Guru of the Devatas, be auspicious to me. Meaning, may I have the grace of the Guru. The student wants the grace of the Guru. The teacher is also saying, may the grace of Guru be with me. Meaning, one is as a Devata, of course, Brihaspati is the Devatas, is the Guru of all the Devatas. His grace we seek, and through him, the symbolic meaning is grace of the entire Guru Parampara be with me. And who is the real Guru? Bhagavan himself. Sadashiva Samarambham, Narayana Samarambham, or Narayanam Padma Bhuvam Vasishtam Shaktim Cha Tatputra Parasharam Cha, the full parampara of Advaitic masters. One invokes. Because only the grace of the Guru will help us to realize this truth intuitively, to know the self. Without Guru, impossible it is to know this truth. Acharyavan Purusho Veda, who has a teacher who is living this truth, that person only will know the truth. And one has to listen to it from the teacher. So may I have the grace of the Guru. May the Guru be auspicious to me. May there not be any misunderstanding between me and the Guru. May I do what the Guru says. Not that I can't question, I can question to learn, to understand, but may I not have a rebellious attitude and attitude of indifference. May my ego not be more strong, that what Guru says I don't accept, so I will not live it. I may not understand today, but I should put in the efforts to understand, tune up, why did the teacher say this? And try to live. So the grace of the Guru, may it be there with me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May there be peace. And when we say Shanti, how Gurudev used to say Shanti? Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Not Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. From the phenomenal forces, nature, cyclone, storm, thunder, rain, drought, all that. May there be peace. May phenomenal forces be harmonious to us. May people and the beings around be harmonious to us. May we be quiet subjectively to focus. So this is the Shanti mantra. We have gone through it. Now we will enter into the Upanishad from our next class. This week, if you want, you can do two things. One is memorize the Shanti mantra, and second is sit quietly for 10 minutes every day, focus on the breath, and at the end of that 10 minutes, chant the Shanti mantra once, invoking the bhav. What all attitudes this Shanti mantra is telling us now. It will invoking all that. May I see auspicious, may I be healthy, may the grace of the Devatas be with me, may the grace of the Guru be with me, may there be peace in my life. One invokes all these. So that way one can do certain sadhana. Next week when we do the Upanishad class, 1 hour we will do the class and 15 minutes we will start our meditation. So we will also start practicing. So we will internalize what are the attitudes the Shanti mantra speaks about. We will internalize all that. For today we will stop here. If there are any questions, you can raise your hand. How do I join Vedant Fundas? I will put the announcement on the group. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.